Welcome back, all you bulls and bears and betas out there, to the buzz of the Proxyopoly TM spin-off podcast we call the Proxyopoly TM Podcast. My name is Jesse Cole Burdick, the Proxyopolist, formerly known as Jackal of Trades. This fifth episode of the Proxyopoly TM Podcast, titled The Turn Off, I will be turning off the background tracks for the purpose of clearly articulating the intentions of this Proxyopoly TM Podcast and the parameters surrounding, quote, the Proxyopoly TM score, unquote, this season on the Proxyopoly TM Podcast. Before diving into today's subject matter of business and finance, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all contributing Proxyopolists, including Wildside Enterprise, Derek Caperton of Slug Crust, and the shedding velvet noise of the pig. Your contributions have been vital to Proxyopoly TM podcasts and Proxyopolists everywhere. Thank you. Before we dive into the parameters surrounding, quote, the Proxyopoly TM score, unquote, and the many opportunities for new sponsored or contributed proxy content, I have rather serious announcements for which I would like the full attention of Proxyopoly of the whole and its alternative forms, including the general partner at large. In the previous episode of the podcast, I, Jesse Cole Burdick, Jackal of Trades, pro tempore of Clown Corp International Holdings Incorporated in absence of Proxy Zero. As interim chair, I made claims that Proxyopoly TM would have a Kickstarter set up and added to the Linktree/NASCAR Cosa. This, my fellow Proxyopolists, was a lie. It is true that I lied before the Proxyopoly, and in this regard I will seek no mercy from those who would seek judgment for such an offense. To all Proxyopolists in attendance for this podcast, I ask of your forgiveness for lying before the Proxyopoly, and I humbly seek your vote for my discharge from the Proxyopoly TM podcast if my actions have traduced Proxyopoly TM in any manner. Albeit notwithstanding, the Kickstarter was not started for several reasons, none of which I dare get into now. It involves a whole bunch of policies and guidelines which may not have corresponded with the policies and guidelines of Proxyopoly and the whole and its alternative forms. Excuse me. Again, doing this in an uninterrupted manner, live, if you will. At any rate, of all written material and whatever I had prepared for this episode being finished. This is once again Jesse Cole Burdick speaking to you now, Proxyopolis. In the upcoming episodes of the Proxyopoly podcast, there will be several new opportunities for sponsored content and contributed content for any Proxyopolist who dares debate the Jackal of Trades. Join me on this podcast. And it is with this invitation for a challenge to all listening Proxyopolists at home. If you have what it takes to dance the Duval County do-to-do with the Proxyopolist, formerly known as the Jackal of Trades, and you are welcome to come on this podcast and debate these things with me, or you can just I issue a challenge, a contest, if you will, to the Proxyopolists listening at home. to take on the Jackal of Trades before the Proxyopoly score premieres. The turn-off has been set. The turn-on is nearing, and the Proxyopoly score will be premiering this season on the Proxyopoly podcast. Only 2 episodes to go this season, Proxyopolis. Where is the Jackal going with all of this? The listener at home asking it, is it in the best interest of the general partner at large of Proxyopoly of the whole and its alternative forms to be proceeding with the premiering of the Proxyopoly score this season on the Proxyopoly podcast? That's not for one Proxyopolis to decide, Proxyopolis. And that is why this Proxyopolis, the Jackal of Trades, Jesse Colbertic, you may know me from a few other things, but also send your money to Proxyopoly today, because there will be new announcements for new proxy contests within and outside the scope of Proxyopoly, whatever that means to you, but this is going down in transcripts, so just if you're missing anything, you felt like you missed something, the transcripts are also available for you to read on Apple Podcasts. If there's anything you felt like you missed, or maybe that you just want to catch up on everything and it's easier for you to read than it is for you to listen to me, I get it. I understand. This thing is just being stretched for time at this point, and effectively, if you can't call it like you see him, why the heck you got a podcast anyway? Linktree/NASCARCosa is the place once again where you may send your money to Proxyopoly today. And this is me once again, Jesse Colbertic, the Proxyopolist, formerly known as the Jackal of Trades, signing off on this episode of the Proxyopoly TM podcast. The turn-on premieres next. What possibly could the Proxyopolis on the board of Proxyopoly of the whole and its alternative forms have in store for all of its general partner at large when it turns on whatever it turns on? Next episode on the Proxyopoly, the turn on. Will we be turning on new sponsored content? Will we be turning on new contributed content? Will we be turning on the Proxyopoly score itself? Find out next episode, Proxyopolis. I'm the Jackal of Trades, Jesse Colbertic, signing off.